This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
What do you say, John?
How about that?
That's pretty good.
Enthusiasm for you.
That should work.
Some high energy there.
Yeah, thanks.
I was asking if you were recording is what I was doing.
Yeah, I know. I am recording.
Did you know?
No. I say it all the time, though. That happens every time we do this podcast, at least once. You say, did you mean that, or were you listening?
Okay, we're doing a cognitive test on John. John, what are we doing this week?
Count backwards from 20.
Watching a movie.
And which movie did you watch this week, John?
Celebrating Martin McDonagh.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the film that we watched was Seven Psychopaths.
Ah, congratulations, you passed.
Yep. What do I get?
To continue being a guest on this podcast.
Yeah. I don't think you get it. There's no prize. It's just,
This isn't fun.
You're still accepted as a normal person without, mental decline.
I just settled with being able to go to bed.
See, you're in the sweet spot where you're smart enough where you can remember what you watch, but you're stupid enough to continue doing this with us.
Right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't call that the sweet spot, though.
Sweet spot for me.
Purgatory.
Otherwise, it'd be very lonely.
Okay. Purgatory. Yeah.
That's where we all sit.
I think John's got it more close
Yeah.
than you do. Yeah.
But this week, we're watching Martin McDonagh Marathon. We're going to watch all of them because, and this is going to come out much later.
Except for his first one.
Yeah. And I guess we're counting that because he did win an Academy Award for it.
I'm telling you. Oh, you are counting it now. It's official.
I think
John
since you get the Academy Award, then it becomes a movie. I think that's the rule. The shorts aren't a short until you win Best Short Movie at the Academy Awards. So there's one a year.
Okay.
There's one short film that is a movie per year. That's what I think. That's
we should
make
fold that one in. How short is it? We should fold it in.
Is that great? What if I say, what's the breaking point, John? What number is too high when I look this up?
Yeah, I would say 38 minutes and above.
27 minutes.
That's it.
All right, we're good.
Let's fucking do it.
We're in there. Yep, let's do it.
Fold that one in. I don't necessarily want to do a whole episode on it, but we should have done
No,
it
it
for
can
this
be
one.
bonus material
probably.
on an episode.
I fear this episode's going to have the least amount to talk about.
Yes.
Yep. But I wonder why. So, TC. You haven't seen this, right? We're just going to go with TC.
Actually, I did. No, I did see this before.
Oh, John. And John, you had not seen it?
I've seen it, yes.
You've seen it. All right, so let's go with John since TC went first last couple times.
Yeah. Let's go, John.
All right. I found this enjoyable, but I don't. It's definitely not. I didn't like it as much as In Bruges or Billboards. So and that's probably just going to sum it up more or less.
Yeah,
really. I think the problem is I thought the story was kind of fun, but I did not. The characters were not as interesting. Like Colin Farrell's Marty, he doesn't have much to do except just react to the people around him. Sam Rockwell
and get drunk. Just
kind of get drunk, but he's not. He doesn't have much to do. He's not really even there. Sort of. He's kind of like the writer. So he's just sort of reacting a bit to that around him, but otherwise he's not doing too much. And even Sam Rockwell is doing the psychopath crazy guy, but there's not much depth to him either, other than he's wanting to help his friend out, kind of. So that's not that interesting either. I mean, my favorite bits and even Woody Harrelson is just kind of like, he's mostly a jerk gangster who kills people, but he likes his dog, and that's kind of it. So there's not much more than that.
Did you need more though?
Well, when you look back at what we had with Ray Fiennes' character in Bruges, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it pales in comparison to that.
Oh wow,
right,
yeah.
Like look, Woody Harrelson's the heavy right in this one, and you compare it to what Ray Fiennes did in Bruges, and it's like I don't know, it's night and day in terms of like just how watchable, how like amazing the scenes were, the scenes of the interaction. It's what you don't have either is a lot of real interaction with the characters that much in the same way too, where you feel like there's a relationship there and a history there, because a lot of these people just sort of met other than Marty and Billy.
And then Tom Waits just randomly shows up.
Right there. There's Tom Waits. Hey, that's
look, I got a bunny. I got a bunny.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah. What was closer to those other movies was Christopher Walken's character. And maybe just because of him as an actor, but I thought he was far more interesting to watch, because he always is anyway. But his character was just really cool. I think the way that he handled all his suffering was really interesting. In that his wife's dead, and you can tell it's impacting him, but he's not like gonna like spout off or yell at people. In fact, if anything, he's gonna like offer the guy who he probably thinks killed his wife this ascot, whatever the hell you call it. I like that scene a lot. My favorite scene in the film is where he's telling the guys to just go ahead and shoot him. They're like, drop, or whatever. Put your hands down, whatever.
No.
He's just like, no.
What do you mean? I don't want it.
It's like, no, I don't want it. And I love it. That's my favorite part of the whole movie, just because, and I don't know anybody else who would do it like Christopher Walken did it.
I like when like the reactions to things are not what you expect, right?
Right.
Like when the character has a reaction, you're like, oh, I wasn't seeing that. I didn't see that coming.
Right. You never see that.
It's funny.
How many films over and over again?
Right. You see where they always are like, all right, fine, put the hands up.
And
right.
he's like, no.
Yeah. And it's only he could say it in such a way too, of being like defiant, but also like Christopher Walken. Yeah.
And he's got nothing to lose, and his wife's dead, and he thinks that this is going to buy his friend some time because he sees the police car, so he figures.
Did you like his story of like the ending there when he's talking, when he's,
it was kind of
when he's dictating it.
Yeah. Again, because if for no other reason,
my favorite part of that was when she speaks perfect Vietnamese.
Right.
I was like, that is the part of the story that I love absolutely the most.
I did like those parts were great, and I loved the Walken and his wife's relationship, and just the way they related to each other was very sweet, and just sort of it was very heartfelt. How they do a lot without saying a lot with those characters, like how she knows she's protecting him when Woody Harrelson's character is there by
looking
what she
for the
does.
Polish person.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was all. Those parts were good. I didn't hate this or anything.
Did you like or dislike the meta part of it being like a film where they're writing about a film? I didn't. I gotta see. I'm with you.
They didn't do anything with it, right?
Exactly.
I didn't quite like all of it because nothing really. Yeah, right. You're right.
I wasn't I wasn't mad at it either. It didn't really get in the way of anything, but it didn't really go any. It
led to the one of my favorite scenes is when Sam Rockwell is telling the story about the campfire. And if they didn't have the whole writer thing in there where it was kind of meta, you wouldn't.
I thought that was
have
funny.
That scene, right?
Yeah.
So,
and his acting in that was fucking great.
So good.
Yeah.
I laughed the hardest during that scene in the entire movie too, where there's the one part where he's like, and he shot him in the neck with a crossbow, and then out of nowhere, he got shotgun,
pops, and it pops, and it blows his head apart.
I laughed so hard.
That whole sequence was fun. That was fun, and you could tell that they were having a lot of fun with that.
And like he's going nuts into it, and they're just looking at each other. They're like, sometimes they're interested, they're like, oh, that was pretty good, and sometimes they're looking at each other like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Right.
He's out of his mind.
And you kind of feel like that. That's like their creative process, and how like probably McDonagh himself is like feeling as he's trying to like figure out what the hell to have his characters do.
Right. Yeah,
so
and I thought that stuff was pretty, rang true.
Yeah.
Right. Where like someone's like, can you help me write it? And like all that really means is like, soundboard of like, bouncing ideas, right?
Yeah.
Like that's.
Edit my stupid ideas, please.
Yeah, right.
I don't want you to come up with any ideas or write any of it. I just want you to tell me what you think is dumb.
Yeah. So I mean, those were good, but I don't know if that stuff really gelled either. I agree. It's that was like my only disappointment of the movie.
Yeah, part of the I think the reason this movie comes off lesser than the other two movies we've seen of his so far is because it aims for like a single tone as opposed to doing multiple things. Because I think in like the Billboards and in Bruges, it's really funny intermittently, but not all the time. And like the moments of it being funnier possibly than a lot of the funny moments in this movie, but then there's a lot of other dramatic moments, and this movie doesn't really hit any of the dramatic moments. They're not bad when they try to do it, but I'm not like feeling that many emotions because I don't care for the characters.
And I didn't like how the characters popped up out of nowhere.
I didn't really mind that either. I kind of like the frantic nature of it. It makes it like
but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't get you invested into like any real drama.
Inherently, it gets you. It's like it's an easier watch for sure. And like what it tries to do is it tries to be funnier. I think it just like it tries to be funny every second of the way. Whereas the other two movies has like a story behind it. There's like more humanity
they're trying
behind
to tell
it.
you something. Yeah, they're trying to say something.
And
Right.
this seems more like a straight up comedy.
Like it's just trying to make you laugh.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Because I was smiling. Like I don't think I laughed out loud as much watching this again as I did rewatching In Bruges or even Three Billboards, but I was smiling throughout. Like it is very enjoyable to watch all these like super heavyweight actors do their thing because they're not bad at all. And sometimes they're really good, but they're all kind of doing their like stereotypical thing. And if you like watching, Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson and Christopher Walken and Colin Farrell all do their thing, and you like them for their thing, then that's like I don't know. Can't go wrong.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
How many things can we think in the thing?
Yeah.
Hey,
I think just watching that right after In Bruges, it's such a contrast.
It's tough. Yeah.
I think watching
maybe
this
that
is
was
like, I think that's what I was like coming back in this thinking, wow, I haven't seen this for a while, and I forgot how good In Bruges was. So
it's
I was
funny
watching
how
this and I'm like,
when you put two movies together like that, it can really change. It can make or break a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Like you start to wonder that like should we have more time in between some of them? You know?
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
So apparently, according to
go
people on the In Bruges set, he was like way more strict. It was his first movie.
Right. Right.
So he was a lot more strict. He got people to say the lines exactly how they were written. It sounded like on the set of this one, they let Sam Rockwell improvise a lot, and they kept a lot of that in there, and that kind of shows. So that could be part of the, I wouldn't say issue, but difference maybe between the two
less
movies.
of like deep character development or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. But
I mean, they might have just wanted to be having a good time on this one, right?
It's a combo of all those
Yeah.
things. Like your point, Denny, about it not having a lot of dramatic depth. Like they weren't really maybe going for that. They were just going after like crazy comedy with a bunch of crazy characters, and they all just come in and they name it that. They name it Seven Psychopaths. So it's all about like, oh, psychopath number 1, number 2.
And there are scenes where you could like connect with the characters, but instead they go the other way. Like when Colin Farrell gets dumped by his girlfriend, instead of Sam Rockwell like joking with him but having a real emotional center to it, he just literally is shoving in his face that he got dumped by his girlfriend. And it's funny when he's like talking to the dog and making fun of Colin Farrell, but like you don't think he's like a good guy or your emotions are there for that scene.
There's no like recognizing that relationship or what it meant or any of that. It's just more about playing it for a bit of humor in the moment. Right. So,
and I mean, I don't think committing to that is necessarily a bad thing. Probably a little easier, maybe. But I don't like it when movies use words that make me cringe. Like this movie uses some language that's just like, I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to use it anymore. Maybe you weren't allowed to back then, but I don't like it when that's probably a me thing. But I think a bigger problem is that they say the word psychopath 100 times in this movie. When's the last time you used the word psychopath? When you're talking about a serial killer or you're talking about like a criminal, you don't use the word psychopath exclusively.
Somebody that has no remorse or feelings, but that doesn't necessarily describe any of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
so looking up the definition, it's kind of a broad definition. It could just be, it doesn't have to have anything to do with feelings, but it could just be behaviorally. They don't act, quote, normally or in violent, erratic ways, which you could define like anybody like that, kind of.
Right.
No, violent, like, I think it means like violent, like.
But it's or. So if you act like in non-normal ways, that could be, depending on how non-normal they are, I guess you could be classified as a psychopath. Seemed pretty broad, just from the dictionary definition. I have no idea.
No, it's fair. It's just not a word we use very often. Certainly you don't just sort of lightly throw it around.
I don't think most people get that.
These guys
label.
were people who killed people. I mean, so
that's I think that's the criteria they wanted us to know.
That one worked well enough.
Right. Yeah, I get that. That's true. I put together a doc. What criteria does it mean
to be a
psychopath?
And then what criteria does it mean to be a movie that is considered a movie that
how meta can you get with criteria and film? I mean, I'm just going to go back to that real quick. That was disappointing to me, the whole writing thing. I was like, I don't know where I was thinking it might go.
Somewhere.
But just like, it was like, I mean, it was almost like the writing was the MacGuffin, right? It's just like what it is. Writing's the MacGuffin. It's the thing that drives it along and has no point to, and like doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of decisions in the movie logically don't really, I mean, I don't know why people made decisions. Why did Sam Rockwell want to get in a shootout? right? That
just
wasn't
because he wanted to write that in a film. I think
he wanted that, to be part of the film, and it made it so he could tell the story and then have that at the end, and just.
But didn't he? So he
Right.
was killing the people
Right.
because he thought it'd give him something to write about. But he was also writing about other things that didn't happen. So could he just
Right.
not make the connection between you don't need to recreate something to write about
to
it?
have it, yeah. Well, it could be a little bit of both. He also just really wanted to be in a shootout.
that might have been part of it too.
Yeah, he's a little bit of both.
I mean, he's a psychopath. He's the first and the seventh.
Yeah.
Sure. We could pick this one apart. I mean, when Colin Farrell's driving down the freaking hill, the cops were driving up the hill, and they don't even
stop.
Yeah, they don't stop
Yeah.
him. They try to get over it. It's like the cops arrive at the scene, and Colin Farrell's driving down the hill, and you're like, dude, this one road up here. Wouldn't they have stopped him? What?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
Not really.
Movie already kind of gives
Although
it away.
I guess you could say that they were after those guys because they saw them shoot before. So they were actually after the guys that just came from shooting Christopher Walken.
So they knew what their car looked like, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's just a
So,
regular."
these guys are up
passerby.
there. We're going to get them, right? So
Yeah.
fuck this guy who just drove by. We're trying to go get those guys that were just
that's
shooting
fair.
people.
That's fair. Yeah, they were good call, TC.
Yep.
Yeah,
True.
I think that's what they were trying. I think that's what their
they just
excuse
witnessed
would
a
be.
murder, so they were going to go
Yeah.
get those guys.
Since I'm such an
right.
idiot, I really could have used the one shot where he's whizzing by the cops and he looks at them all concerned, right? I need that shot in
Yeah,
there.
you needed that one connector.
Yeah.
That's
Give it
right.
2 seconds long, just a really quick
You
one.
know, they probably shot it. It just didn't make it in because it was like, fuck that, we can dick chat for time.
No way. Give me the 2 seconds back.
I mean,
Come
it was
on.
already kind of a long movie, right?
Yeah, nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
For this kind of movie, that's pretty long.
Yeah. I'm cutting that shit out too. Anyway.
Yeah, this is just one of those ones I was afraid. I was like, oh, well, when it rolled, I was like, that was enjoyable. This isn't going to be an hour-long episode.
Yeah.
No,
It's
there's
gonna
not
be
much
short.
to it. I mean, it really wasn't meant to say much. It was just supposed to be like a set of funny things strung together by the idea that there's a writer making up some movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I got an idea.
What do you have?
So
What?
we don't record it now, but we watch Six Shooter before we watch Banshees of Inisherin for next week, and we record them, and I'll move that audio to the end of this one to be included.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
Wicked smart.
Yeah,
that's a good
Kids
idea.
wicked smart.
hell yeah.
Because I'd be interested to see what it is, what it looks like, or
Yeah,
just
same.
sort of what sort of pieces carry over. So I think that's a great idea, Denny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me. I got one good idea. Look at that.
Hey,
Nice.
You
you
get
know?
one a year.
Yeah.
And it's good,
good.
too.
It's
Good,
Because
'cause
this year
the
was
year's almost over.
up.
I almost got went a
Yeah.
whole year
You got it in.
without one.
Yeah, we're all getting
Yeah.
worried about you.
And they don't
Yeah.
carry
Yeah.
over those good
Yeah,
ideas.
make that- you
And-
got
and
a
if
fucking
if
2 weeks,
don't-
buddy.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one that year, you might not get one next year either. 'Cause
Yeah,
that might
except for when
indicate
the fact that when this airs, it won't be fucking
Right.
this year.
Yeah, that's
Right?
right.
That's great. That's
That
just
means
great.
you'll have. It just means you're front loading your next year with
Maybe.
one your good
Yeah,
idea.
It's
That's-
okay.
You should
It's
take
okay.
that
The
win.
clock-
You're off
clock's
for the
at
rest of the year.
The clock's at least reset. You might. It bodes well for you having a good idea next year at some point.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I heard. I don't know if you guys heard this one, but it was. I heard this one say that I thought it was funny. It was when it says that someone said like EOD. I thought that meant end of December.
Whoops. Someone's getting an email tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a funny one, right?
That's
Oh,
good. I like
EOD.
it.
Oh, I thought that meant end of December.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
I got
Shit.
weeks.
I got that.
Oh.
I got that EOD. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I get you that by December. In December, finish off the year.
Yeah,
I'll get it done
we'll
before
finish
the end
out
of
with
the
a
year.
bang. Yeah, we'll finish it out with a bang.
That's
End of
great.
December.
EOD.
All right, what do you got, Denny?
Well, so there's not much trivia. I had a question for John. So another disappointing point in the movie is they play Angela Surf City in the movie.
No, the
I
Walkman is
love-
in this. The
like, they have
Walkman
two
is heavily
Walkman songs.
featured. Yeah.
And one
Yeah.
time they have one song, I forget the name of it, but it's in the background twice. But then they feature Angela Surf City as like
Right.
part of the soundtrack, loud and no other audio, basically.
Right.
But they don't play the whole thing. The build-up
No.
doesn't work, and
No,
it's
they don't do the
Woody
full,
Harrelson
like
driving around,
two-stage-
being mad for
Yeah.
like no reason. Like the whole scene doesn't make any sense, and they kept it in there just because you can tell that Mark McDonagh likes the song, which is understandable.
I mean,
It's a
seems
good
like
point.
a good enough reason.
It kind
But
of.
it doesn't even highlight the song
No,
well, or
it
let
does
you
the
hear
song
the greatest
injustice.
parts of the song.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. I remember being all happy that it was in there, but then it doesn't.
It fades out and the scene ends. You're like, what the fuck was the point of any of that?
To the point where, like I forgot it. I mean, I even forgot, even though I heard the Walkman the 2 times. Like, hey, the Walkman, great.
Yeah.
But no, it's like you're right. Is Angeles or City is a fantastic song. It has this great like 2-stage chorus that's really good. Man, that's true. It's a good point. They just threw it in there, but they didn't really do it justice.
Mm-hmm. I bet they bought the rights and they're like, this doesn't work. Well, we spent a decent amount of money.
Can we get a little bit of it in?
Yeah, just do a little bit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
And people who never heard the song, maybe that's a good thing for them. It's like, oh, wow. Who's this? This sounds pretty good.
Maybe, but I don't know. That song is great because of the way it builds too. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't get all of that, it's kind of a bummer.
Agreed.
But
did you guys recognize the 2 assassins at the very beginning of the movie? The ones that are standing on like the dam, sort of?
No, the ones that just die.
Oh, yeah, I recognize them. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them before.
Yeah.
I don't know what their names are off the top of my head.
One of them is a Skarsgård. I don't know which Skarsgård he is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's a Skarsgård.
One of them could be the brother of...
I think that's a Skarsgård you got there. And you got one of them Skarsgårds over there in your movie.
I think it's the non-Pennywise Skarsgård.
Okay.
Non-Pennywise Skarsgård. Let me look
I could
that
be
up
wrong.
just to see what comes up.
I thought it was I'm looking at it here, and there's no Skarsgård in the cast and crew here.
Oh, and it's not that.
Could be.
Could be uncredited. There are a lot of uncredited people in this film.
I think that was a pretty... I mean, it wasn't like a 2-bit part. They
had a lot of lines.
Speaking lines. Yeah, those are not... You got to be credited for that shit. Wasn't it Michael Pitt and then...
Michael Sturberg? It's the first 2 in order. That makes sense.
Yeah, maybe
Michael,
you're right.
Michael Stolbarg.
Larry and Tommy. Michael.
And then Michael Pitt. I thought he was a Skarsgård.
Michael Pitt and Michael Pitt and the other guy.
No, not a Skarsgård.
Stolberg.
He looks like a Skarsgård.
How about Helena Matson, blonde lady? That's good. I love that when it's in the script. Like, we don't need to know the name. It's just blonde lady.
She's just a blonde lady.
Yeah.
You got Vietnamese priest and the hooker. Nice.
Yeah, right. That's you put that on your resume there.
Yeah, I played hooker.
That was hooker number 3.
Man. Yeah, who spoke perfect Vietnamese.
It just kind of seemed like it was this kind of a sad waste of Tom Waits in a way. He didn't really do much.
He always kind of does that though in these movies, right? He's just like I'm going to show up on set for a day and fucking have fun, right?
That's true. Yeah, and I just look crazy and talk really cool, and that's all you need from me.
And that's all you need from me, right? And then I'm going to go home and drink a little whiskey and play a little piano. Yes.
Yeah, it's just fun to see him. He doesn't really do very much.
I know.
Yeah. Especially petting a bunny the whole time.
That's why he read that he would be holding a bunny the whole time, and he's like, I don't even read the script. I'm in.
I want it.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. I do like how many animals are in this. There's always like a cute animal on the screen. That helps.
Yeah.
But there's no trivia. I assume there's no book corner.
Nah.
You're not reading the scripts, John?
But
I didn't read the script.
I saw this. I didn't really want to read it after. Yeah.
I mean, they fucking all the parts that are like description in the script, they're reading to you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there's so much voiceover in this one, where they all have something where they're talking at some point.
I didn't think the script would have been that interesting either. So, but yeah, it's hard.
You would have been able to tell what lines Sam Rockwell improvised at the very least. But
that's true. Oh yeah, that would have been useful. I guess.
True. That would, but you'd have to. I mean, that would be tough.
Useful for what?
To remember all of them. Yeah, it wouldn't be useful for.
Yeah, for the Banshees. I'll go through some of it. He's done a lot of interviews for Banshees, so I'll go through them and take some notes.
That's what I have to do here because none of the physical copies of these first 3 movies have any special features whatsoever. So I'm like scouring YouTube for movie festival panels, sort of.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of them for this movie were really bad. I don't know if they were just tired or what, but I found one good one. It was like the week after they saw the movie for the first time. It had just played at the Toronto International Film Festival, and they were in their hotel room the night after that. And I think it was the night after. It was the same week. Sam Rockwell went out to a club, so like he was hungover. And it was Sam Rockwell, Woody Harrelson, and Christopher Walken in a hotel room together.
Oh, wow.
And
cool.
Can you imagine how nuts that would have been?
It was really good because they are friendly with each other. It was a little cringeworthy sometimes because the interviewer would try to like hop in there and joke around with them, and it would just die immediately.
No.
They're just like, you're not them, dude.
Like, dude, you're not our friend.
You're not them. These guys are
not our friend.
huge Hollywood stars. You're a guy with a shitty, like the audio quality was bad too, but
was it really?
But it's like a 25-minute long interview, and it was, not a lot of trivia on this movie, but they talk a lot about, themselves, I guess, if you like that sort of thing, like not in a kind of, I'm great sort of way. It was just the guy was asking them questions, and they describe like their acting method and if they watch movies that they've been in ever, that sort of thing. And
right. Yeah. What was the answer?
None of them do. Woody Harrelson doesn't have a TV, and he doesn't. So both.
I don't believe
he doesn't have a
of this.
TV. I believe it with him, man. He seems like a real kind of a weird guy, like an outdoorsy kind of guy.
And he smokes a lot of pot too. I don't know. That just seems to lend itself to watching a lot of TV.
He seems like the kind of guy that'll smoke pot and go on a hike or something like that.
I guess so. Maybe. Yeah. He's active.
Yeah, because he's almost 60 years old now.
Probably got a fucking. He's probably got a theater.
That's true. That's not a TV.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, movie screen isn't theater, but he basically said he doesn't watch the movies that he's in. None of them did.
I get it. I mean, I get that. I can imagine. You must watch it at the premiere, but like. You're not going to like watch it at home.
Right.
Right.
Go back and review it. They're like, no.
I mean, if you're working regularly, you don't have time for that.
Right.
Well,
Right. So
there was a funny thing that Christopher Walken was like, he's like, I'm just happy whenever I get a job. Like right now, I don't have anything lined up. I don't know if I'll ever work again. And then he turns to Sam Rockwell, and Sam's like, he's like, what are you doing next? And he's like, I got nothing. And then they talk to Woody, and he's just sitting there with a straight face, and he's like, I'm booked for a year and a half. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's funny shit.
That's great.
That's funny. That's good stuff.
And both Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson, they don't read the reviews. They used to, but they've both apparently read some bad ones to the point where it fucked them up. And they both do like stage plays and stuff pretty frequently too. So like you get daily reviews from that sort of thing. And if you read, apparently if you read something when you're doing that and someone criticizes one line that you did, then you'll focus on that and it'll fuck you up even more. Right.
So and it like compounds on itself.
Because you're worried about that the entire time. And then the time comes and you might have fucked it up. And then if you did it wrong, then you might screw you up the rest of the way.
And you fucked it up again and then you're lost because you don't remember what was next. and then boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Use confidence, all that stuff. So they both basically don't read anything, whereas Christopher Walken's reads literally everything, all the good ones, all the bad ones, and he's just like, I need to know. Of course he does.
I need to know.
I want to know. I want to know. I don't care. Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's good. That sounds funny. It sounds like you're getting a bunch of different perspectives there, which is cool.
Yeah, and they were all like, they seemed they probably worked really well together. They seemed really friendly.
Yeah. Oh, their chemistry in the movies are great.
Yeah.
So
Colin Farrell wasn't there. They gave him a lot of credit for the movie. Some of the questions were like, is it hard to be a weird, zany psychopath, or is it like easy and fun? And they're like, well, it's pretty easy actually, because like you don't have to worry about doing as much. So like Colin Farrell, they gave him credit for like giving them merit as psychopaths, because they all said like the best way you can be a psychopath is if people think you are. So everyone around you needs to act like you are. You don't act like a psychopath. You are, and other people react to you in that way. So like they were kind of putting on Colin Farrell to be the one like reacting to the way they were.
Oh, true.
So
they
gave him credit for that. And also he
did have some pretty good faces where he was just dumbstruck.
Yeah.
Right? He had some of that, yeah.
And they also gave him credit for all the emotional stuff, because they were just like, we didn't have, any emotional portions to our roles here. So that was all Colin as well. So they were all just like, yeah, we had a great time, a lot of fun. And Colin probably had a really hard time because he was doing everything, all the hard stuff by himself. So
interesting.
Nice to hear them talk nicely about him when he wasn't there.
Oh, they're not stupid.
Oh, yeah.
They want more roles.
Yeah.
He's much more top billing than the rest of them.
And Christopher's been good. He's been in like a TV series called The Outlaws, which I never heard about that. That was an Amazon TV series. And then he's in Severance too, which he's got a pretty good role in that. He's going to be the Emperor in Dune Part 2.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
He's not done acting. He thought back in like 2012 that he might be done, but he's not done. Thank God.
No, I'm sure it was a joke.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that old, I mean, he's a legendary,
Walken.
right? Yeah, he's legendary.
Yeah, he can fucking work. Come on.
Sometimes legendary actors, they kind of fade away though.
There's always someone looking for him, I'm sure.
And
no
he's
matter
still good
what
at
it
it
is.
too. That's kind of
he's just
The amount of money that comes through this place with all the short films, it's there's money.
You think he's expensive
He's
these days, or do you think he works for cheap?
I think it depends on what he needs.
Probably varies.
I mean,
I bet he's getting paid
For
well
Dune?
for Dune.
Yeah, he's got to be. They had a lot of money for that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And the agents, don't forget the ones that work for them are the agents. So if he has agents, they're working.
So what's the budget on that one? 280 million? Yeah, we want 5 million.
They want their 10%.
Yeah.
So they're going to get him work.
Yeah.
No matter
Be
what.
interested just to see if he's bringing his walk-in style to the role of Emperor.
I fucking hope so.
That would be great. That would be
Ruin the
great.
movie just for his scenes.
I know, and that's fine. He can do that. It's okay for him to do that.
Definitely.
But yeah, that one was worth watching. Beyond that, not really anything else. Martin doesn't really do special features, which is hopefully he does for this one. Because this one might be winning a lot of awards. This next one we're going to watch.
Yeah.
The Banshees of Inisherin. I think I'm going to go to the theaters to see this one, guys.
Are you?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And this is going to come out pretty, if this does get nominated and win Best Picture, the next episode where we review it is going to be like lined up to that. So it's going to be a while until it releases.
Nice.
But do you guys have anything else on this one?
No.
Nah.
I mean, not upset that I watch it. It was good again to watch it. I just remember it maybe from a couple years ago. Maybe I watched this. It was good times.
It's a good one.
Like you said, I think you nailed it. If you like watching those guys do their thing, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's like like an Ocean's 11 type of movie,
Yeah,
right.
kind of. Yeah,
Right.
that's a way to think of it. Yeah.
Slightly more violent, maybe, but yeah, around the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the head blows up especially.
Not as family friendly.
That was great.
was great.
You laughed at that one too. See, sometimes extreme violence can be hilarious. I'm not the only one,
I
TC.
laughed.
Come on.
Oh, I laughed. I definitely laughed at that. I was like, ha ha! What? Yeah.
So, but would you put it in the top 250? There's that one.
Nah.
No, me either.
Yeah.
No.
He's batting a strong batting average, but Marty is not batting 1,000. That's too bad.
No,
that's
that's
fine.
okay. You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
Always.
It's
You know,
impossible.
it's all
okay.
You
possible.
gotta have fun sometimes,
Just good to know already that Billboards went back up there with both the combo of the emotional and comedy. So that makes me look forward to Banshees now too.
And if it wasn't for this one, then Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell wouldn't have been in Billboards, and that would have been not as good without those two in there.
No, that's true. No. Again, that's Sam Rockwell is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be good. Good to see. So
I'm excited. Yeah.
In Bruges, characters reunite for this film. Not the characters, but the actors.
As far as we know,
as far
we
as
haven't
you know,
looked it
unless
up,
it's
right?
like a-
I haven't seen the
Well,
trailer.
yeah, but I mean, they, again, I guess after he,
Gets shot a
still
bunch of
survived. Well, he got one. Yeah, Farrell's character gets shot like 9 times with dum bullets.
They patch him up real nice.
They do. The other guy who, he fell, like 5 stories and exploded. Like
They extract his brain and put it into a replica robot. Yep.
that's right. He's okay. Or this is a. This
I mean,
is a
it's
prequel.
funny how, right. Like you can see similarities, right? Where Rockwell dying there. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a prequel and they use that weird de-aging technology. That would be
Oh dear.
That
no.
is
no.
They wouldn't.
No, I hope
I
not.
know. There's no point. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to it. Good to
Yeah,
see.
me too.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to insert the 6-shooter one right here, I think.
Yeah, let's
So-
watch
All right.
6-shooter.
6-shooter. All right, let's watch it right now.
I know.
All right.
Short film, right?
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Oh, right.
Transition. We just watched, so on
Transition.
the other podcast, we watched 7 Psychopaths. This is being stitched in.
Yep.
Ugly Frankenstein of a podcast. This will be like.
Wait, we just watched. We
Yeah.
just didn't watch 7 Psychopaths. We watched
Doing my
Banshees.
fucking head in like.
Wait,
His head was all gone. I like
we're doing this for
no head
Banshees,
at all.
not
Just
7
a neck.
Psychopaths.
No, I don't know.
right?
Just a fucking my best fucking day of my life. That fucking couch exploded.
6-shooter. Martin McDonagh. We're
6-shooter.
wrapping it up. John considered this a film, so I bent to his will. He's stronger than he looks, and we're gonna watch the short. And it's about 26 minutes long. It's on YouTube. And since John, you classified it as
Since
a
you
film,
picked
why don't
it,
you
you
give us
I didn't
a?
say. I just told you that this was.
I'm
a
blaming
film.
it
I
on
didn't say
you.
we had to watch it. I mean, I think it's great. I enjoyed it. I think if you're gonna I want to see a McDonagh film, go watch In Bruges. You don't need to necessarily want to watch this. because I feel like there's a lot more of this in Bruges, sort of. So
I think it's in Bruges.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing it intentionally or not.
Yeah, I can't tell either. Is it so bad it's good?
I can't fucking tell anymore. This is a problem. I always made fun of how it was said, and now I can't do it anymore. I broke it. It's like, don't do that with your face; it'll stay that way. That's what happened to me with saying the film title. So I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So I can't tell anymore. I'm hopeless. But I did think, so I liked, I'll never say the guy who played the kid, Rohrdry Conroy. I thought he was good. It was, again, a very Quentin Tarantino type of performance of just a crazy dude, and it was good. I mean, so it's kind of worth watching just for his performance. And he's been in a lot of McDonagh's plays.
Really?
I don't know of a lot.
Is that where
that's
now
where
I
he's
want to
from.
see some plays.
I don't think he did. He didn't do movies as much, but he was more of a theater actor. But he was good.
I mean, he did command the screen. I have to say
he did. I think that really it felt like the whole film is that. Even though, I mean, there's Brendan Gleeson does his thing, which is appearing concerned.
The best part about this is what he says was fucking hilarious like half the time.
Yeah, I know. He was good too.
I don't blame you for banging it on something.
I don't either. Yeah, I mean, really, I don't blame you for killing the fucking kid. Right?
Yeah. He's like the straight man, so it's like good. He's like there as sort of like the ordinary guy going, "What the fuck?" kind of, right? And then you've got rabbit killing, which is
interesting
a thing. I haven't seen a film before. I don't think where you actually.
I thought that joke was funny though. He's like, David's here. I thought he meant like Saint David, right? And so he's like, David's here. And I'm like, the fucking rabbit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
I thought it was hilarious how the doctor like tried to console him with his newly dead wife by telling him about somebody else who got their head blown off.
Right.
I know. Those were kind of
So I think this is good. I just didn't know. I didn't think it.
I think you can see his beginning there for sure, right? In the writing and in the look and the feel and some of the shots and even the color scheme is similar to his usual routine, right? But lots of contrast, it's
a really dark comedy is what it is, right? And it's more comedy than it is dark, but it is about newly dead. Like everybody has a dead person
newly
in the
dead.
family within the past 2 days. That's pretty damn dark, and they make a ton they talk about smashing a baby's head in, and that's the hardest I laughed in the entire thing. And I don't know how. Like I was curious, John, did that make you laugh?
It's his
I know
delivery.
if you have kids, you laugh less.
I didn't laugh.
Hard.
I did not laugh.
I laughed
that point.
pretty damn hard.
I thought it was pretty funny too.
Yeah, but I didn't. No, I didn't laugh at that.
I mean, it was his delivery that was funny.
I get it.
It was his delivery that was funny.
Yeah, and he's just like, you're banging on stuff. I would have banged on something.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I really like too is just like Irish people. And now we understand like why we're so direct, right? Like when they talk like fucking assholes, right? I mean, like if anybody talks like that all the time out there, which it seems to be whenever we watch movies with Irish people, they're similar in like calling people assholes, calling you out for no real reason, right? Fighting at the pub. I mean, that's all good shit. I don't know about you guys. I think that's funny shit.
There was like a meme where it's like Lilo and a scene from Lilo and Stitch from the Irish version. It's dubbed where it's just there's all this profanity. Where in Lilo and Stitch there's all this family fighting going on where the sisters are arguing with each other, and so there's just a series of gifs where they just do it as an Irish dub and they're calling each other awful names and yelling at each other in terrible language. So
makes sense.
Funny.
Thanks, Internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gleason's exactly the same as usual. Yep. He hasn't changed his act in 20 years, huh?
Did you notice Dom Hall in his second thing he ever did? Hall Gleason?
No.
You know who that is? It's Brendan Gleason's son, and he's been in a shit ton. He was in all the new Star Wars movies. He was in that new Steve Carell show, The Patient. He was in Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's like a skinny-faced, red-haired Irish kid.
That's him?
That was him as the guy selling the food. He had a lot more hair in this movie, but that was him as like a young kid.
Interesting.
That was good. He had a good bit part.
He did.
Yeah. He's pretty good in The Patient.
Yeah.
Creepy as fuck.
Good casting there.
I'm a big fan of that show.
Not a fan? Too creepy?
I mean, it's too creepy.
Yeah. It got really stupid at the end, too.
Did it really?
You didn't watch it?
I only got 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First 2 episodes, definitely like, we're going to finish this. And then we finished it. We're like, that fucking sucks.
It's like 9 Perfect Strangers.
I couldn't even get through the first episode of that one.
I got through all the way and was like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's the worst. But anyways, that's funny that he was in this. I mean,
we need more good TV shows.
I did not recognize him one bit.
Yeah. He had a lot of hair on his eyes. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I thought the scene where they stabbed the cow was pretty damn funny.
Oh yeah, that
Trapped
was like
gas.
it's like there's certain things like
Just blew up.
Yeah,
it's
the
a
best day of
McDonald
my
film.
life.
If you got some Irish people, and then you've got a
Fucked
small
up.
person, and then you've got something really strange happening.
I is that real? The cows actually have that happen to them?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I believe
I kind of liked the little character development there between the two of them. It was decent.
It worked. It's such a short film. It worked well enough to show him caring, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. But again, it did the same thing that the RRR did, which was bring back audio from the last part to remind you to connect those dots, right? Because otherwise there was no connection. So it would have been hard to because he has that realization, but there's no other way to do it besides in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to say that. You can't show it. So that was my only gripe there. But otherwise, a good 26 minutes. I mean, that's a lot happened in 26 minutes. I will say that's for a short film. I mean, there was a lot of development going on between the characters. I mean, shit, a woman dies. Fucking talking about baby killing. There's a cow that blows up. There's
woman who commits suicide.
There's fucking crazy shit all over the place, and it's in 20 minutes. So it is.
Have you seen my wife? Yeah, she jumped off the thing 5 minutes ago. There's blood.
He's like, I'm gonna
streaking
go
down
find
the
my
window.
wife. He's like, all right, you dummy, but she did jump out the fucking door. So.
And he's like, the cop comes and he's like, he pulls out of his jacket. This is a picture of their ugly ass baby. Here you go. You can keep that with your fucking photos book of all these ugly children that you have.
And of course, all he says is, thanks for the help, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked it too. Very fun. If you like McDonagh and you want to laugh a few times over 26 minutes, it's pretty,
and be a little
pretty solid.
And a little disturbed.
Yeah.
And hear a pretty bad Marvin Gaye joke.
Did Marvin Gaye's dad kill him?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't know that either.
I'm sure
you know why?
That's a whole story you can probably pretty easily look up.
His father, Marvin Gaye Sr., on April 1st, 1984, at their home in West Adams District of Los Angeles. Nice area.
That sucks.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
After an argument, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not
Well, I'm probably not
great.
after a good time,
Is that a joke?
Yeah. I mean, this is what he expects. It's like.
I mean, I didn't realize that was even
shoot
true.
him, so you imagine there was some kind of, escalation or
You would
the
think.
altercation. Things weren't going well.
That is true.
First.
All right. What do you guys think? Is that good? We did all the McDonagh stuff now. We've watched all.
Well, I wanted to talk. I still want to talk about Banshees. I
Okay.
don't know if you can fold this in at all, just in terms of. But this film was
all right,
like,
watch this, John. Watch this.
What?
All right, I folded it in. There you go.
You're awesome.
What's this, Banshees?
We're gonna do Banshees. Wait, we're
Right.
Banshees. Wait, we're putting this in Banshees.
Yes.
Oh.
I tried to tell you, goddamn. I texted you. I wanted to talk about Banshees.
But
I've
we
said
can
it
just
like
put this-
5 fucking times. Have you not been paying
I
attention?
thought we were doing it in relation to this movie.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I guess it
How
would
you
make
gonna-
sense to put out the thing that you had thoughts afterwards before the episode where we talk about it initially came out, right? That doesn't make any
I know.
sense.
True. Logically, that's not
Well, we
linear.
haven't talked. That episode hasn't come out yet. So,
True.
right?
All right, let's go.
We haven't even done. So,
Hurry it
Stitching it
up,
in.
John. You've got
Stitching it
the
in.
air. You've got the
okay,
floor.
all right.
Stop 'em.